We know that the Congress has been wiped out, absolutely wiped out in Uttar Pradesh, down to a lower vote percentage in Uttar Pradesh than the RLD, and of course, decimated in Punjab. Sanjay, I saw your tweet, but I'll allow you to share your thoughts with the audience.
Well, I mean, Barkha, this is a moment of catastrophe that the Congress party cannot ignore anymore. I mean, we have all gone through several of these conversations every time there has been an election. But there are two reasons why I think anyone who genuinely believes in the grand old party needs to really worry at this point. Look at Uttar Pradesh and Punjab. Let's ignore Uttarakhand, swing state that the Congress should have won, Goa, that you lost for the third time to the BJP, and Manipur, where you just have not been able to handle the Northeast at all. So let's ignore these three disasters for the moment. But look at Punjab, where a sitting chief minister, who, by the way, till a year earlier was winning for you not just the by-elections to the assembly, but municipal and panchayat elections were being swept by the Congress. And I want to give you a hint here about what I think the Congress needs to embrace going forward. What was the trigger to change Captain Amarinder Singh? Was it some kind of these backroom boys who work with Rahul Gandhi, who fiddled around with some gizmos and apparently came out with this magical, kind of output that told them that Amrinder Singh had to be dumped because he was a political liability? Then they choose Navjot Singh Sidhu, and I do believe Priyanka Gandhi has an equally terrible role to play here in the kind of shenanigans and the misdemeanors that
I mean, I'm
followed.
glad. I'm glad to hear you say that because you've been really advocating for Priyanka Gandhi. And if we can go back to Punjab for just a second, it was Priyanka Gandhi's decision to actually bring in Navjot Sidhu. And Sanjay, you've been looking at Priyanka as the great next hope. That myth has been busted today, hasn't it?
Well, it has been, but please remember this, Barkha. I need to tell you this as well, that the reason why Navjot Singh Sidhu became a topic of conversation was because Rahul Gandhi had issues with Captain Amrinder Singh. And I think she had to butt in there to intervene to try and look for an alternative, because that relationship was not at all the way it should be between a leader of the party sitting in Delhi and a chief minister of one of the few states that the Congress was in. But look at what followed thereafter, Barkha. You had Navjot Singh Sidhu there, and then you have Charanjit Singh Channi coming in. So, there was a third, joker in the pack, when the real reason why Sidhu wanted Captain out was because he believed he was going to be the chief minister. Therefore, you have been wiped out in Punjab. And I will tell you this with confidence, because I've been internally talking about this to people in the Congress for a long time. AAP's victory in Punjab, extending beyond Delhi, is going to be one of the most existential threats to the Congress, because the voters who go to AAP are usually Congress supporters. And that's bad news. As far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned, 399 seats contested, and your vote shares actually go down, means that there is total disillusionment with the Congress. And I think that is frightening, because, Barkha, one last point before the others come in. The Congress was last in government in 1990. Can you imagine being out of power for 32 years, and after 32 years you get 2% of the votes? Who is accountable for this? I mean,
Not even
after
2%.
32 years you have
Not
abandoned us?
not even 2%. But I want to go to what you said on Twitter. You asked for Sachin Pilot to be the
Yeah,
Congress president.
yeah.
What is the thought behind that? And we can now look at these states one by one. But Sanjay, go ahead. You can talk over them.
Well, okay, Barkha, I will be very upfront here. I've been saying this for a long time. Rahul Gandhi may be a good guy, makes his occasional good speeches, but politically, he is not delivering the goods that Congress wants a leader to do. And Rahul is still the de facto Congress president. He is being repeatedly rejected by the people. And much as these are state elections, the truth is that the larger leadership of any party comes into play, which is why Narendra Modi is able to lift even those states like Uttarakhand, where the BJP changed three chief ministers. But somewhere down the line, the fact that Narendra Modi is the head of the BJP still seems to give people the confidence. Rahul is not able to inspire that at all. And if you can't do it for so long and you're still evolving and learning, it's important to take the back seat. If I honestly believe that the Gandhis today have become an electoral liability, because the new India is not buying into the contribution of the past
You,
members of the
you
family.
said Gandhi's there earlier, or somewhere in the interim. You had a hope that Priyanka Gandhi would deliver the Congress more than her brother. You felt she had a keener political instinct.
I
Given
still
what's happened, I just want to go back to the slide on Uttar Pradesh, if we can, please, for a second. If we can go back to the slide on Uttar Pradesh, Sanjay. Given the vote share in UP or for the Congress, given that the family boroughs of Amethi and Rai Bareli have been lost entirely, Amethi was lost to the parliamentary constituency. Now look at the performance of the segments within those two Lok Sabha seats. Would you say that brand Priyanka has also failed before takeoff? This is the lowest that I can remember. Gilles will correct me if I'm missing any, if the Congress has ever been lower than 1%. I mean, how do you go lower than 1%? Sanjay, do you believe that the Congress party needs to be led by a non-Gandhi and urgently?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you why Priyanka is paying a price. I'll share something with you. I had told her much before the state elections that your political brand will get damaged irrespective of how hard you work. She's done 209 rallies, okay? And the Congress, which has been last had double digits before 1996, it had 9% in 1996, has remained in single digits for the last 26 years. To expect Priyanka to create magic was always going to be a risky venture. And I think she's going to pay a huge price in terms of perception because although she's tried hard, trust me, in today's day of competitive politics, the Congress had no organizational base to convert any of the people who wanted to vote. So basically, what has happened, Priyanka, Barkha, is all those people who liked the Congress have actually gone to the Samajwadi Party, including many voters of the BSP. They all migrated to the Samajwadi Party, which is why, although the Samajwadi Party has got 130 seats, its vote shares have actually gone up significantly. And therefore, you need a Sachin Pilot. Truth be said, Barkha, Congress doesn't have too many leaders anymore. Most of the people have gone, or many of them today are marginalized. And actually, the only one you have, frankly, who's young, has got charisma, is a great communicator, and if given a chance, I believe can create a pan-India, base or a campaigning that can work in Congress's favor. It is Sachin Pilot, and therefore I'm openly saying that he should be given the charge and an opportunity to take the Congress party forward.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.